I just think this idea of being outside and experiencing nature has always been a part of who I am. And I think that's really the genesis of the whole garden home concept. It is garden home, home and garden, and blurring the lines between both of those realms. And I think that how we build our houses, how we position our houses, the types of windows we use, the way in which we can traverse from one of those realms to the other makes such a difference in how you live. One of the principles of design that I always follow as a designer is framing the view. You've got to focus on it just as though you would a picture and frame it. Good garden design is good picture making. When I design a garden, I start in the house and I look through every window of the house with the moving landscape. When you think about the landscape, it's constantly changing. It's dynamic because of the seasons and because of what's coming up and going down. From some of the windows, you can actually see the sheep and some of the livestock, which make each window a wonderfully unique experience each time you look through it. To me, light is hugely important in a house, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm so drawn to Greek Revival architecture. For many architectural historians, Greek Revival architecture is a pure American expression. It was the architecture of the New Republic. So after the War of 1812, as you can imagine, Americans had lost their appetite for anything British. There was the impetus to create an architecture that reflected democracy, civic virtue, and it came to us in the form of the Greek Revival. I love its strength, its simplicity. Most of these houses had tall ceilings. They had large windows with big panes to allow the light to flood into the spaces. You know, when I was asked to design my dream window, I really had to think about it. And I've always wanted to have some sort of a little building out here, which was a place where I could just go and read. Maybe it's a tiny little retreat. And I love the story about the way Gothic architecture took its origins, this idea of, in a clearing, two saplings crossed at the top, making this beautiful sort of Gothic arch. You know, you could just imagine all these trees in the forest and in this clearing, and taking that model and somehow integrating it into a hexagonal building where you have 5 windows and a door and it looks out onto the river. And maybe the outside of it is just bark. So it's a bark and twig folly with these great sort of Gothic inspired windows. I just think it'd be so cool.